be formless, shapeless, like water. Now, you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Now, water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
What up, Eric O'Brien, Way of the Warrior. Another exciting episode of What Did We Learn Last Night? And we learned last night that Jon Jones is just about as good as we think he is. Now, I know a lot of people, myself included, wanted him to put that exclamation mark on the fight with Rashad Evans and actually finish that fight. But as dominant as he looked, and as promised, I was telling you, those short elbows seemed to turn the tide in his favor. I don't know about the judging. I mean, I've only watched the fight twice, and I didn't see any round that Rashad won. So anyone who gave it 49-46 to Evans, I don't really know what you were watching, but feel free to argue with me in the comments if you'd like to. We also learned that if you're trying to have a coming out party for a guy, let's say, who's got the longest fighting winning streak in modern history, for Stephen Thompson, you shouldn't invite Matt Brown to the party, because Matt Brown absolutely decimated him and, of course, spoiled the night. A couple other people that decided to spoil the night. 6-1 underdog, Eddie Yagin, decided to prove that Mark Hominick needs to figure something out, and he needs to do it quick. Mark Hominick moves to 3 losses in a row. Jose Aldo, the Korean Zombie, and a guy who has not won a fight in the UFC until last night, Eddie Yagin. So kind of go back to the drawing board and start over. Another guy who needs to start over is Brendan Schaub. Very scary night for him. Not because he got owned by Ben Rothwell, because it always happens. I mean, you saw Czech Congo do the same thing. When you're back on your heels, you got to be really careful when you jump on those dudes, because boom, one uppercut and everything changes. What's scary is the amount of times that he's gotten knocked out brutally and decisively. And with that study that came out that says 6 years of fighting, you start to have the same sort of brain damage that you would if you're an Alzheimer's patient. Brendan Schaub is one of those guys that you want to keep a close eye on. Also, Matt Brown, who said he was knocked out twice in his fight against Thompson, another guy you should keep your eye on. Bocek with the win, which was excellent. And man, I will tell you that Njokuani fight was absolutely stunning in the undercard if you didn't see that. And speaking of stunning, let's get Rory McDonald some real competition. Let's also remember the only loss in his record was in the last 20 seconds of that fight to Carlos Condit. Had it gone to decision, he would have won that fight as well. So it's time to move him up a little bit, because as cool as Che Mills was to see fight, Che was not ready for Rory McDonald. And that was an absolute owning by Rory, and let's get him in there with some people that could, you know, make it happen. And let's remember, if he had won that Carlos Condit fight, we'd be in a nightmare scenario where he'd be training with GSP and trying to figure out how to fight him, a la Jon Jones and Rashad Evans. What's next for Jones? He fights Dan Henderson, which is a very, very exciting matchup and another tough one for Jones. I'm not really sure. We'll break that down this week. We'll also break down that Overeem is out. Mir is officially in against JDS on Memorial Day weekend. Next fight, we will break it down as well. May 5th, going to be on Fox. That is Jim Miller and Nate Diaz. We will catch you Friday night. It's Way of the Warrior. Talk to you soon.